This is the Jason Walker Show. Two-time National Sports Media Association Montana Sportscaster of the Year and three-time loser, the Jason Walker Show. The best local and statewide sports coverage, featuring the biggest guests from Montana.
Flint Rasmussen joining us here on the Jason Walker Show.
He's freaking exhausting, too. You used to dance a lot more. Yeah, I know, lady. I'm 51 years old now.
The NAI Hall of Famer Mike Van Diest joining us here, Jason Walker Show. And is it just a deal where quarterbacks have to be good golfers?
Well, that's all they have time for. They don't work out. They don't lift weight. They don't do anything else. They might as well go get on the golf course and at least have some fun.
And from across the country,
Doug Gottlieb, our guest here on the Jason Walker Show.
End of the day, remember, it's your show. It's got your name on it.
Howie Mandel, our guest here.
Jason Walker, deal or no deal?
the Jason Walker Show, broadcasting from the Major Mortgage Man Cave. Here's Jason Walker.
Hey, what up? Happy Wednesday. Jason Walker Show, presented by Capital Collision Center. Montana state law says it is your vehicle, it is your choice. Where you have it repaired, choose Capital Collision Center. Coming up today in the Major Mortgage Man Cave, we are chatting with football coaches. Dane Oliver from Missoula Sentinel and Rob Stanton from Billings West, as the two coaches get their teams geared up for the state AA championship game, which is coming up Friday night in the Garden City. So we'll talk to both of those coaches. Also, That's What She Said, brought to you by Dinner's Done Right today. Going to chat with Alex Eschelman, the ABC Fox Montana sports reporter down in the Gallen Valley, and get her thoughts on, Cat-Griz. Really, is there anything else this weekend besides all the other championship games? And we'll get her thoughts as well. Let's see, on this day in history coming up, got a pretty funny video to show you as well, coming up in the walk-off. So all that and more still to come. You can watch the show on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. You can listen on Podbean, Network One Sports, TreasureStateRadio.com, JasonWalkerShow.com, our email, jason@JasonWalkerShow.com, our Twitter handle @JWalkerSports, and our phone number, 406-209-1267. So you got all the state championships coming up this weekend. It's going to be a fun one. I'll be in Dutton calling the Power Dutton-Brady Freud Lake football game on 1 o'clock on NFHS Network. That'll be a lot of fun to be calling that game. I've never called six-man. I've watched it, but I've never called it. So that'll be a good time, I think. You also have the 8-man championship and Class C or Class B, Class A. Laurel hosting Hamilton in the Class A. Big Fork is at Florence Carlton in Class B. By the way, we'll talk to Big Fork coach Jim Ben coming up on this show tomorrow, as well as 3 Helena High Bengal runners. Pretty good ones, too. Odessa Zentz, Kylie Hartnett, and Carly Ryan will all join us tomorrow here on the show. It's going to be a fun time, for sure. Like I said, if you want to weigh in on anything, you can at JWalkerSports on the Twitter or 406-209-1267. What did we see that we wanted to hit on before we get started? Not a lot, really. Oh, the Frontier represented in the NAI coaches polls. The Carroll men, the only school in the Frontier that's ranked, they are the number 5 team in the or number 6 team in the nation, rather, moving up from number 10 to number 5, rather. Let me start that over. The Carroll men are ranked number 5. They moved up from number 10 to number 5, 7-0 on the year. St. Francis, Loyola, William Penn, Arizona Christian ahead of the Saints. The women moved up from 6 to 5 after winning its last 4 for Carroll. And the Saints' only loss is against Southeastern, which is ranked just ahead of the Saints women, who are number 6, and Southeastern is number 5. So the men are number 5, the women are number 6. The Carroll men and women, by the way, Carroll, the only NAI school in the country, both teams ranked inside the top 6, which is pretty cool. Let's see. On the women's side, you got Montana Western at number 24, Providence receiving votes And that is about it. There is a doubleheader at Carroll tonight. The women play at 5. The men play at 7, both against Our Lady of the Lake. Our Lady of the Lake was here a few years ago on the men's side and played pretty well. And the Saints and the Saints, basically. That's how that's going to be tonight. The Lady Griz, are they in North Dakota tonight, I believe? I think so. No, tomorrow. I'm sorry. They'll be in North Dakota tomorrow at their school day game. We've seen those across the state. Montana State's Jordan Raddick, the Big Sky Volleyball Freshman of the Year. Volleyball teams had pretty good success as they head off to the tournament. Big Sky will hear from Alex Eschelman about that coming up. Let's see. I think that's about it as far as the big stuff. Anyway, we talked about polls. We've talked about all sorts of stuff. So, all right. What did we see? Yep. That's about it. So, let's just get to it, shall we? There's some big basketball coming up this weekend, I'm sure, but really it's all about the football right now. And football, it takes center stage this weekend as the 5 state championship games will be played across the state. You have the AA, the A, the B, 6 and 8 man. And we're going to talk to the AA coaches today. That includes Rob Stanton from Billings West, who will join us a little bit later on. But we had a little bit of technical difficulties with the first part of our interview with Dane Oliver from Missoula Sentinel. We'll play the second part here in a second. I'll tell you what he said. Billings West is really a good football team. And they have to figure out a way to stop the Dowler brothers, the offensive line, the quarterback, Isaiah Clonch, who threw for 323 yards last week and then went over Helena High. So, yeah, he was concerned about Billings West. But we did get it hooked up for the second half of our interview, and that is now on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. Dane Oliver joining us on the Jason Walker Show, the head coach of Missoula Sentinel. The Sentinel football coach here on the Jason Walker Show, Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. But this is such an important week. How do you allow yourself or the kids to not get wrapped up in what's going on?
Yeah, I think everything to do with your language, how you speak, how you address things. They know it's a big game. I don't need to sit here and tell them. They've been in that environment. So just some strategies we use the coaching staff. Like our process doesn't change. They know that environment will be great Friday night. That'll bring them plenty of emotion. So how quickly can we settle in? We can lean back on our experience from previous years. I know year 2, the second time being through this, I'm in a lot better headspace than I was last year. So the kids who've been there are as well. So at the end of the day, it's another football game. There'll be some big moments. There'll be some ups and downs. Let's just play our game.
With your game, yeah, like I said, being at home under the lights, Friday nights, it's all that. It's just another game. Typical coach speak. How much were you going to rely on your seniors that or upperclassmen that played in this game a year ago to teach the younger kids who didn't what it's all about?
Yeah. Well, they've been doing that all year. I go back to just teaching them habits and behaviors that allow them to be successful during the week. Are you getting your sleep? How's your studies doing during the week? What's your practice habits when we step on the field? And those guys have been leading all year. I don't expect it to change Friday night. They're great examples. The thing about this team is our best players are our hardest workers and best student athletes. They model everything we need from a society and young men. And so it's just an honor to coach them.
Talking with Dane Oliver, the Missoula Sentinel football coach, as they host the state championship game Friday night. There's a lot of games in the West between Big Fork and Florence Carlton. You've got Thompson Falls. I mean, the western side of the state this year has been really, really good in football. Why is that?
I think everything ebbs and flows. For a long time, the East was the power, and we heard over here we're not real good in the West. And just like in Missoula, sometimes you get these ebbs and flows of the different high schools. It's just the cycle of life, and is how it goes sometimes.
It's just nuts, though. I mean, from the AA all the way down, it's just been a crazy year for Western football, and I love it, being in the West here in Helena. All right, give me a pick, Cat-Griz.
Oh, boy, I haven't had a chance to follow it too much, but I feel like the Cats are beat up with some running backs out. So, I feel like just being a Missoula guy, I'm going to bet on the team in the West here to get her done.
Oh, gee, okay. You got a score prediction?
You know what, Jason? I haven't even thought about that.
You got your own game to prepare for.
I know. Yeah, I'm worried about the Bears from West right now, and I'll wake up Saturday morning and I got some tickets, and we'll go have a good time and enjoy some great football.
I was actually going to try to get to my first game at Washington Grizzly, but I'll actually be in Dutton calling the Power Dutton Brady Floyd Lake game for NFHS, so I won't be over there. But what is it like in Washington Grizzly Stadium?
There's not many better environments there. My junior year was the year that they ended the streak the Cats did, and it was a blizzard. That's my last Cat-Griz memory is getting beat by the Cats, and Travis Lulay played a heck of a game that year. So. I may not have the best perspective on that experience.
That is good. A good point. All right. I got a question about Rob Stanton. You've coached against him a long time. What makes him such a good coach because coaches have to deal with kids coming in and out. Like you said, you deal with adversity. Why is Coach Stanton so good?
When I think of Coach Stanton, it's consistency. Like, he's got an established program, but his demeanor, the way he approaches things, his mentality of why to coach is spot on. And so I think that allows him to be successful. He doesn't ride that emotional wave that can often be accompanied with coaching at a bigger high school. And he just brings that stability at a great school like Billings West. And, he's a multi-sport coach. He's a head track and field coach. So he gets how to develop athletes, and that trickles down to all the boys. They see that, and so they develop great athletes.
All right, final question for you. I'm showing a picture of you covered in the ice bath from last year on the road after the state championship game. It's going to be a little chilly Friday night. Is another ice bath okay? And what is it like getting an ice bath in the chills?
Well, yeah, another ice bath would be a great experience. I'd love that, because that means the Spartans got it done. But it catches you by surprise. So maybe this year I got a little dodge in me if I'm lucky enough to get there. So
every coach says that. You've been working out?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, working out. So I'll get back. I got a plan to get a little better shape starting Saturday.
There you go. Hey, Coach, we appreciate the time all year. Maybe we'll talk next week after the championship game if you win. But I appreciate all the support all year and the helmet. It's been a good luck charm for you in West. You were two of the first ones to give me a helmet, and guess what? You guys are playing in the state championship game.
But yeah, no, I appreciate you covering just high school athletics in general, Jason. Appreciate it. Have a great weekend.
That is Dane Oliver joining us, Jason Walker Show, and appreciate him joining us a couple of times this year. It's always fun to chat with coaches, and he's going to be in the championship game. This is the second year in a row we're talking this week with Dane Oliver and Rob Stanton because their West High and Sentinel Spartans are in the championship game. It's going to be a fun one. Friday night, 7 o'clock over there in Missoula. You can watch it on the NFHS network. We'll talk to Rob Stanton a little bit later on in the show, but when we come back, we're going to check in with Alex Eschelman, her first Cat-Griz game, and her first game at Washington Grizzly Stadium. How's she feeling? How do the Cats feel injury-wise? Is Isaiah Fonse going to play? We'll find out. Alex Eschelman will join us. That's what she said coming up next. This is the Jason Walker Show. It is brought to you by Capital Collision Center. Montana state law says it is your vehicle. It is your choice where you have it or repair. Choose Capital Collision Center. And, manufacturer certified is a phrase that you want if you are like Capital Collision Center. And they are. Capital Collision was one of the first in the country to become manufacturer certified, requiring special training and equipment to be on the programs. It's very important to Capital Collision Center. Your vehicle's properly repaired to manufacturer repair requirements to maintain the safety and value of our vehicles or of yours. I see her. She's ready to go. She is grooming her hair, brushing it with the SWX Montana beanie. Alex Eschelman joins us next. Hang on.
New vehicles keep coming, and Capital Collision Center keeps earning certifications to repair them. They're Helena's newest GM-certified facility. No matter the make or year, they repair your car to manufacturer's standards and requirements, maintaining its safety and value. Montana state law says it's your vehicle and it's your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Capital Collision Center, certified in GM, Subaru, and Nissan, and Helena's only shop certified in Honda, Acura, and Ford. When you value safety, go to Capital Collision Center on Euclid.
Have you thought about buying a home and just don't know where to begin? Well, when it comes to one of the most important purchases one can make, we understand it can be frustrating and confusing, but it doesn't have to be. Let the Major Mortgage team help you with all your mortgage needs. Major Mortgage means major service, and we would love the opportunity to help you today. Give J.R. McFadden, NMLS number 1246357, a call today at 406-465-1918, or you can visit him at 2001 11th Avenue, Building A, Suite 3 in Helena. Major Mortgage is a division of AMCAP Mortgage, NMLS number 129122, equal housing lender. Everyone knows about Dinners Done Right and the convenience of the cook and carry cuisines. It's so easy to just stop by and you have something for dinner that night. But there's also one more thing you need to know about. Dinners Done Right Grab and Go Salad Bar. Yes, I said salad bar. Always the freshest ingredients, along with a daily soup and nacho bar too. So the next time you are in a rush or you just want to eat healthy, stop by Dinners Done Right for the soup, salad, and nacho bar. For monthly menus and more info, it's dinnersdoneright.com.
Store-wide savings are what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Rucker's Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Rucker's, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $299. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Welcome back, Jason Walker Show. We have no music today. That's all right, though. We don't always need music, do we? Plus, it looks like it's going to be really loud. Here, let me see if I can do something. Jason Walker Show, by the way, presented by, there we go, Capital Collision Center. Montana state law says it's your vehicle, it's your choice. Where you have it repaired, choose Capital Collision Center. All right. We're going to talk to Rob Stanton, the Billings West football coach, coming up. We also have On This Day in History. I don't know why music is tough. I don't know. You think after all these years of doing stuff on my own, I'd be used to doing stuff on my own, but I'm not. All right, let's get to it. It is that's what she said. It is brought to you by Dinners Done Right. Her name is Alex Eschelman. She is the best when it comes to sports in Montana.
Oh, that's nice. You're too nice, Jason. Thank you.
No,
Thank
you're
you
too
for
nice.
having me. It's always fun to be on your show.
I got to give you the full intro though. She is the fantastic sports reporter, ABC, Fox Montana, sports reporter, also SWX Montana, and her name is Alex Eschelman. All right, how was your weekend?
Well, it was a great weekend because I got to do my final SWX football game at Bobcat Stadium. It was a bittersweet day. It was fun. It went by way too fast, but it was wonderful. And I feel really lucky to say that I went through the whole entire season at home, being able to cover a win for the Bobcats through all 6 games. So pretty fun. And it's crazy. I mean, after that win, it was like, boom, Cat-Griz week.
Right. Immediately. Yeah, no, it happens. As soon as that game's over, it switches gears. There's no question about that. All right, take me through the game because the Cats win barely against a fired-up Idaho team, apparently.
Yeah, it was definitely a fired-up Idaho team. I also think that to an average fan, these guys, looking at their record, 3-6, now 3-7, but before that game, they were obviously 3-6. You don't think they're as good as what Coach Vegan and the coaching staff described in their press conferences to start the week. They said, actually, the best quote was Coach Banks saying, we're still trying to figure out how these guys are 3-6 because they have a lot of good players. And I think that all of those good players were doing the absolute best that they've done arguably all season long at Bobcat Stadium on Saturday. And on the other side of things, Coach Vigen said it best at halftime. I asked him, it's a 3-point game. They gained some momentum there going into halftime. What adjustments do you need to make? And he said, to be honest, this quarterback, we really needed to go in and regroup and talk about this quarterback, because I don't want to say they weren't fully prepared for him, but it was their 4th or 5th string guy who didn't really throw the ball, but had a great success running the ball. So they had to come in and adjust the game plan a little bit going into that second half. But what can you say? Mr. Butte America,
I was getting there.
Touchdown Tommy, as Troy Anderson would like to describe him in his post-game presser, had the game. Won the game for senior day. So what an incredible performance. And you just have to love a kid from Butte doing that in Bozeman.
Well, what happened to Matt McKay?
That's a good question. I think that there are a couple things. There was at one point where he did take a big hit, I want to say, and was hurt at one point. I don't remember the exact play, but was taken out because he was shaken up. He's fine. You could argue he wasn't having his best performance at times. You could argue that wasn't the game plan for Montana State. You could say that Tommy Millott, that was a little more geared towards him against Idaho. But I can't fully answer that for you. What did you see when you watched the game over?
Well, I got to tell you, I still haven't, because I'm still reliving my Auburn experience and their big,
oh my gosh, that's right.
their big blowout that they had, big
War
win.
Eagle.
They had the win and then they lose it. I'm like, I'm not a fan of either team, but it was fantastic. I just read stuff, and I know McKay didn't have his greatest game. How much of that is your offense is struggling, Isaiah's out, your other running back goes down. How is Isaiah Ifanse heading into Cat-Griz week? Or are they keeping it pretty much under wraps?
Very much under wraps. There were 2 questions asked. I was one of them. And Coach Vigen is very good at, for being a first-year head coach, he's so professional in every single answer. He never gets emotional. And I did ask a follow-up question about the injuries, and he basically politely declined and moved on to another thing. He said, we're not really going to discuss it. But he did say that they are going to be playing come Cat-Griz, and they are also, both Isaiah and Elijah are on the depth chart. So as far as that goes, they're ready to go. They'll be ready to go Saturday. TJ Session, on the other hand, offensive lineman, will be out for the next few weeks. So Rush Reimer will fill in for him until he is available. So that'll be interesting. But TJ Session stepped up and has been amazing for that O-line. However, he doesn't match up to, the effective in Isaiah Ifanse, I would say. At least I don't want to say match up. You got to have that O-line in order for Isaiah to, run through the open gaps. But it'll be interesting. It will be interesting.
There's no questions. We talked to Alex Eschelman, the ABC Fox Montana sports reporter, about Cat-Griz coming up this week, and health, defense back. Chase Benson, most everybody healthy on that defensive side?
Oh, yeah. I think that the health of the team has overall been fantastic. I think that they have done such a good job with keeping their team healthy all season long. And I do think that even though Isaiah and Elijah did go down, I'm staying positive for them. I think that Coach Vigen is honest in saying that they'll be well rested for Saturday.
All right, so the Grizz get the big win, no surprise, but maybe it was that their offense struggled again, and yet again, it's the defense coming through. A couple of touchdowns, once again, one from Eureka's Garrett Graves. Robbie Houck, the National Defensive Player of the Week, although he had less tackles than Troy Anderson, who had a career high. I got nothing there. Both deserving, I'll say that. But the Grizz get the big win, and they needed to. But they can't win the conference championship or split it, but they can definitely play spoiler. I'm sure that's on their mind over there in Gville.
I think there is so much on the minds of these players, Jason. From Montana State's side, they made a really good point. We talked to the captains this week, and they said last year's senior group got to walk away with saying that they never lost to the Griz, and that's what we want to do too. And for them to go 5 straight would be pretty incredible. On the other side of things, Montana wants nothing more, I assume. Obviously, I haven't talked to any of the players or coaches in press conferences, things like that, but I assume that they want nothing more than to beat these guys at Washington Grizzly this weekend. And it's going to be a defensive battle. I mean, these two of the two top defenses in the Big Sky, 2 of the top in the FCS. You've got Buck Buchanan Award watch listers on Montana's side. I mean, you could argue that Montana State could have a couple of players in that area as well. I mean, like you said, Troy Anderson, amazing. The secondary, amazing. The line, amazing. So I don't think it's going to be a very high-scoring game. I think it's going to come down to which offense is going to outwork the top defenses.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting game. The Griz run game, pretty much non-existent. They're on like their 5th or 6th stringer at one point in the season. They're getting healthy, though, and the Cats are on the offensive side a little bit hurting. We'll see how that all works out. Lance Mccutchen's been really quiet the last few weeks, and I know it's because he's really good, but I'm sure Montana State would like to get him, Alex, get going again, especially against the Griz. How does that happen?
Well, I think first and foremost, Matt McKay probably has to be on his A. He has to be on his A game.
True.
Come Saturday, he has to be on his A game. Every guy has to be on their best attitude and their best performance level come Saturday if they want to win this thing, especially for Montana State because they don't have home field advantage. Montana's going to come in with a fire in their belly, knowing that they have lost to these guys the last 4 seasons. I mean, think about it. This senior class for the Griz has never won a game over the Cats. Think about how angry they are. So,
there's a lot of Bobcat senior classes over the years that could say the same thing. So
Right. So I think that Matt McKay has to be on his best game, but I also think that Lance Mccutchen is just like every single one of the players on this team. And that's selfless. He doesn't, of course, he wants to get some catches and he wants to get a couple touchdowns over the Griz in his senior year, of course. But what does he want more? He wants to win the game. Yeah. And all these guys just want to win the game, whether it's by a point or, whatever it is. Right. So I'm very excited. Are you coming to the game, Jason?
I'm not. I'm going to Dutton. I'm going to call the Power Dutton Brady Freud Lake 6-man championship.
Oh, hey.
Which will be awesome.
What? That's a big deal, too.
Yes, it is. It'll be very awesome. And I've never called a 6-man game, so this will be fun. Less players, less of a field.
It's quite different.
It is, but it's just as much fun. Everything's wide open, and I look forward to it. All right. We're all talking Cats and Griz. There's a lot on the line for both. For the Griz, a win gives them a top 8 seed, I think. They're going to get at least 1 home game, maybe 2. For the Cats, though, there's a chance they could end up as the number 1 overall seed from what other brackets I've been reading, or at least a top 2 seed. Win or lose, though, they're a seed, a top 8. But they definitely want to hold on to that 3, maybe the 2. And like I said, there's some potential brackets I've seen with them having a 1 seed overall. But this is a big game for both seeding-wise.
Yeah, definitely, Jason. And Coach Vegan touched on that in the press conference. They said, having the 9-game win streak and winning out at home in the regular season has been one of their goals. But I'm sure on that list of goals that they have with the senior class and the entire program is to win out in from this point forward. And the sky's the limit, in my opinion, for Montana State. I mean, the sky's the limit really for Montana as well if they end up winning in Cat-Griz. It's just a top 10 matchup, and it's going to be tough. And both fan bases are going to come ready to go. First Cat-Griz in 2 years.
Yeah. And your first Cat-Griz ever.
Yes. I've been counting the days. I texted my roommate, so she's a born and raised Bozeman girl. I like to brag about her. Her grandfather's Sonny Holland. So she's been around She's been around it since day one, every single game with their entire family. And I texted her and I said, you know that this week is different than any other week when I had a dream last night about the Cat-Griz game. Like, I was in the stands watching the game. Nice. That is how, like, I can only imagine how the players are feeling because I am thinking about it simultaneously, like in my dreams, and dreaming up this Cat-Griz game and how excited and anxious I am to get there. So I can only imagine what the players and people who have actually experienced this rivalry are feeling.
Is this a bigger week? And you haven't been through it yet. You haven't really seen the game. You haven't, this is your first Cat-Griz week. But is it bigger than Arizona State?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think so. I think so, and I think here's the reason why. First of all, there's a couple things. Territorial Cup is played on Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So you kind of get the die-hard fans. I mean, if you're not a part of the game, if you're not playing in the game, cheering, whatever, coaching, you get the die-hard fans and their families. Otherwise, people are off doing their other things on Thanksgiving. Also, it's just the rivalry between ASU and U of A is huge. It's a very, very big rivalry. And naturally, it's bigger because you've got Pac-12. Right. Obviously, Pac-12's had a couple issues. And ASU is very much better than U of A this year. So I don't know what's going to happen there. Fingers crossed. But I think for Cat-Griz, this is the biggest event and sporting event all year in this state. And I felt it immediately after the Cats beat Idaho this weekend. People were talking about it. They weren't even talking about what happened in that game. They're like, Cat-Griz week. I mean, you saw Troy Anderson in the Montana State football video. He said, it's Griz week, baby, let's go. And immediately after that, it was from that point on, people have been talking about it. That's on everybody's minds. And you can feel that energy here.
Well, and the Cats and the Griz are usually competing for national championships in football, whereas U of A and ASU are not. So,
yeah,
I'm just throwing up.
Someday.
Is it bigger in basketball, maybe, for them?
Don't call ASU a basketball school. Don't call ASU a basketball school. U of A is a basketball school.
This is funny. This is why you're the best. All right. Volleyball championships this weekend. Big Sky, right? So how are the Cats going to do? Was it Jordan Raddick, the freshman of the year, announced today? That's pretty impressive.
JoJo Raddick, yep, Big Sky freshman of the year. She is dynamite on the court. You could see that when I was covering her as she was playing for the Hawks last season. But the way that she's been able to not only fill a starting role for this volleyball team, but step up and be a key starter up at the net is insane. And watching her, she's one of those athletes that just gets you amped and gets you excited and you want to go and watch her because she's that exciting. She's so energetic. She's so passionate about the game. And most importantly, she wants to win. And you can see that in her energy and her facial expressions. And so that is so well deserved in my opinion. So big congratulations to her and to Daniel Jones for making the right decision and starting her and coaching her well right off the bat. They're fourth seeded heading into to the tourney. They play Northern Arizona tomorrow, and they did beat the Lumberjacks in 5. This past season. So I think they're feeling pretty confident about where they're at. However, it was a back and forth battle in their match against NAU. So it'll be interesting. I think anything can happen when it comes to tournament play, as you know, Jason. So we'll see about that. Speaking of high school, though, I got to witness Plentywood go to the finals for the first time ever, and that was really, really exciting.
I was going to ask you, you got your first experience. I don't know how they do volleyball in Arizona, but you got your first experience of the all-class volleyball tournament, and it's nuts. And in one, I mean, you've got matches going on all over the brick. What was that like for you? Because there was some great volleyball between the 4 classes.
The one word that stands out to me when you asked me how it It was loud. These fans, I'm telling you, Montanans are some of the loudest and most passionate fan bases I've ever been a part of. I mean, there could be 20 fans in the stands for a team, and they are screaming their butts off from start to finish. And it is incredible. And they've got signs, and they've got cowbells, and they've got, whistles and whatever. It's amazing. So it was very, very loud, which made it that much more exciting to cover. It was hectic because there were so many teams running around. You should have seen all the journalists. We had one media room, and we were running in and out, in and out, in and out with our tripods and our camera bags and our laptops covering. I mean, there were journalists there. I covered my first day. I covered, I want to say 6 to 8 matches. And there were journalists there covering double that.
Yeah.
And my amount felt like a lot. So I had a lot of respect for my colleagues there. But it was so fun, and just to witness history. And I didn't get to see CMR win AA, but I did get to cover their semifinals, and that was really, really cool.
Yeah, I mean, an unbelievable season. Huntley Project winning a 13th after losing last year. Lots of great volleyball for sure. All right, Alex Eschelman, our guest here, Jason Walker Show. I guess it's all about the Cats and the Grizz. You talk about loudness. I've heard Washington Grizzly Stadium is loud, but I don't know.
I've heard it's one of the best in college football.
Yeah.
I know we talked about this last time, no college game day coming, and I said that they were going to come.
Yeah, me too.
Didn't end up happening. But you know what? I do think that they will make it back at one point. And the best thing about Cat-Griz is how loyal, and I touched on this with the high school fans, but these fans, I mean, college game day isn't coming, so what?
Yeah.
These fans are going to be there whether it's blizzarding or whether it's 100 and something degrees, which I don't think would ever happen.
Not in
I mean, they would be there no matter what.
Yep.
So that's what's so cool, and that didn't, to me, even though when they announced that didn't affect how the fan bases felt at all. They're like, okay, that's fine. We'll see you some other time. We're going to be there. So I am so, so excited. And I'm sad you're not coming, but it'll be excited to cover some 6-man football and the best in the state. So
well, and I'll get to see you, December 4th for that second round game for the Cats, for sure.
Yes. Yeah. Marking my calendar. I'm excited.
Do you think I'm wrong? I mean, so if the Cats were to lose, would the Grizz jump them in seeding, or would it be like a 4-5? You know what I'm saying? Like, because we're going to have 3 seeded Big Sky teams because UC Davis plays Sac State, so one of those will fall out of the top 8. So if the Grizz win, they're in. No,
I don't know if the Grizz would jump over the Cats.
I mean, that's a long. You'd have to go from what, 8 to 3, 7 to 3. It'd be close.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see. I don't know.
I guess if the Cats win, it's moot point because they'll still be ranked higher. It's gonna be fun.
I'm pumped.
Are you going over Friday night?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'll be with the Wake Up crew Saturday morning. I'll be with the SWX crew Friday night. We've got half of our Wake Up crew coming in to do a show at Washington Grizzly. We've got our sports director from Billings coming. We've got people from all over the state coming to this game. So it's going to be really, really fun.
It is going to be a blast. It'll be on Root Sports, also ESPN Plus, AT&T Sportsnet, and radio. You can listen to it on pretty much radio all across the state, whether you're a Cat fan or a Grizz fan. It's going to be a blast. I do have to tell you, though, Auburn cheerleaders were amazing. Mississippi State cheerleaders were amazing. Because you're a cheerleader, so I have to, I obviously was watching some of that. The band, wow. But I got to tell you, SEC football, it hits different, man. It was an experience, and I can't wait to go back sometime. But, super. Bo Nix broke his ankle, played on it for a quarter, the quarterback for Auburn. So it was fun, though. Fun game, fun atmosphere.
Just like the football, the cheerleading in the South is on another level as well.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
It's on another level. So I've yet to experience an SEC atmosphere, but I am hoping I can cross that off my list at one point.
They have a cheerleader for Auburn, one of the guys, who has a microphone the entire game.
What?
Yeah, and he gets to turn it on. Like, he leads cheers over the PA system.
Oh, that's amazing.
For the entire game. Mostly, like, big stuff. But, yeah, it was crazy. But the run-out video, I've got to send it to you. It's too long for me to put on. It's a couple minutes. But, yeah, I thought the Cats do a nice job with their hype video before the team runs out. Auburn kicks their. I mean, it's just awesome. It hits so much different, and it was a lot of fun. I think my little one, is going to be an Auburn fan. She's got a little tiger tail now, and yeah.
Cute. Yeah. Well, maybe she'll go there. You never know.
No, you never know, and you never know who you're going to root for. Hey, I'm rooting for you though to have fun on Saturday.
Thank you.
Be safe. It's Missoula, so be safe.
Thankfully, I have some friends in Missoula, so hopefully they can guard me from any hecklers. But I don't think I'll be heckled. I think
you'll be fine.
Say that again.
You'll be fine because you're a reporter. You're a journalist.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be heckled. I'll make friends with everyone. So I'm just excited to go see it.
Hey, if you get a chance to run into Dane Oliver, the Sentinel football coach, he'll be there, win or lose, after his game Friday night against West. His last Cat-Griz game on the field at Washington Grizzly was the year that the Cats broke the streak. So if you get a chance, maybe rub that into him a little bit.
Okay, I'll bring it up, Coach Oliver. All right, I will try to scout him down.
Do that. Hey, Alex, it's been a pleasure. Can't wait to start talking some basketball. I mean, you know what? I'm going to give you next week. No, we have to talk next week. We have playoffs.
Yeah. Next Wednesday, I'll be back.
All right. I just didn't know your Thanksgiving plans. But we'll talk next weekend or next Wednesday.
Oh, I'll be working.
Okay.
I have Thanksgiving Day off, but every other day I'll
There you go. Aren't we all? So. Hey, appreciate you. Have fun in Missoula. Go Cats. And can't wait to see all the great coverage you'll have on the air.
Thanks so much, Jason. Always a pleasure. And good luck at your game as well.
Thank you. That is Alex Eschelman joining us here, Jason Walker Show. She is the best in the business. There's no question about that. Cat-Griz this weekend. She'll have the call. Or she won't have the call, but she'll be there on the sideline. You can definitely check her out. And her great reporting. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. When we do, we're going to check in with Rob Stanton, the Billings West Coast coach. How does he feel as the boys of the Golden Bears face the Sentinel Spartans for the third time in less than a year? He joins us next. Jason Walker Show. This segment brought to you by Rucker's Furniture. Make the quality choice for your home at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Store-wide savings are what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Rucker's Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Rucker's, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $299. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Fall is officially here, and now is the perfect time to get your rig tuned up before the big hunt. That means a lift kit from Auto Concepts. An Auto Concepts lift kit will help take you places only the animals can go. And when you do get that big one, make sure you have help to get it home with a winch to pull it out. Or maybe you'll be a good friend and help pull someone out of the snowbank. Check out AutoConceptsHelena.com for more ideas. Auto Concepts, the auto enhancement professionals.
New vehicles keep coming, and Capital Collision Center keeps earning certifications to repair them. They're Helena's newest GM-certified facility. No matter the make or year, they repair your car to manufacturer's standards and requirements, maintaining its safety and value. Montana state law says it's your vehicle and it's your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Capital Collision Center, certified in GM, Subaru, and Nissan, and Helena's only shop certified in Honda, Acura, and Ford. When you value safety, go to Capital Collision Center on Euclid.
Have you thought about buying a home and just don't know where to begin? Well, when it comes to one of the most important purchases one can make, we understand it can be frustrating and confusing, but it doesn't have to be. Let the Major Mortgage team help you with all your mortgage needs. Major Mortgage means major service, and we would love the opportunity to help you today. Give J.R. McFadden, NMLS number 1246357, a call today at 406-465-1918, or you can visit him at 2001 11th Avenue, Building A, Suite 3 in Helena. Major Mortgage is a division of AMCAP Mortgage, NMLS number 129122, equal housing lender.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Mike Miller in Helena today. Yes, it's true that Montana is a long way from the Gulf Coast, but you can bring that Cajun flavor home with a stop at Cafe Zydeco. From po' boys to classic sandwiches, Cafe Zydeco has all the best Cajun in town. Are you in the mood for seafood gumbo or crawfish etouffee? Maybe you're craving jambalaya with some shrimp and grits. Head in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or call ahead for pickup or delivery. Cafe Zydeco will fix all your southern cravings, even on a chilly Montana day. Cafe Zydeco is a proud sponsor of The Jason Walker Show. Do you love to look at photos of Montana, from animals to landscapes and more? Are you looking for a place to get your senior pictures or family portraits done? Are you a business owner looking to upgrade the decor in your offices? Well, look no further than Mark Laro Photography. Mark has been shooting beautiful photos all across the Treasure State, from rodeos to portraits, and would love to work with you. Visit marklarophotography.com to see many masterpieces of his work, then give him a call to schedule your own photo shoot. Or to purchase one of his fantastic pieces, stop by Spirit of the Big Sky Gallery on Custer in Helena. marklarophotography.com. Everyone knows about Dinners Done Right and the convenience of the cook and carry cuisines. It's so easy to just stop by and you have something for dinner that night. But there's also one more thing you need to know about. Dinners Done Right Grab and Go Salad Bar. Yes, I said salad bar. Always the freshest ingredients, along with a daily soup and nacho bar too. So the next time you are in a rush or you just want to eat healthy, stop by Dinners Done Right for the soup, salad, and nacho bar. For monthly menus and more info, it's dinnersdoneright.com.
Welcome back to the Jason Walker Show.
Welcome back, Jason Walker Show here on a Wednesday. Coming up tomorrow, we'll talk to Big Fork football coach Jim Benn ahead of the Vikes' big game at Florence Carlton on Saturday. I'll be in Dutton Saturday calling Power Dutton Brady against Floyd Lake in the six-man championship. Eight-man, you've got Drummond Phillipsburg at Thompson Falls. And Class A, Hamilton is at Laurel. So yeah, you got Thompson Falls, Big Fork, Sentinel, Hamilton, all in the in Drummond Phillipsburg, all in the state champion. That's 5 of the 8 are from basically the West. It's crazy. One of the schools in a championship is not from the West, although it's in the name. It is Billings West in the championship for the, third time in the last 4 years, the 2018 state champs, taking on Missoula Sentinel this week. And joining us now to talk about it for the second year in a row, what it's going to be like, is West head coach Rob Stanton. All right, Coach, another week, another conversation. And I was just telling you, the more you win, the better chance you have of chatting with us on the show, because that means you're stayed alive for another week. So congratulations.
That's great. Well, thank you. It's always good to chat with you guys, and I appreciate the call. And, yeah, we're living to fight another week, and, we're excited for the opportunity. It's going to be a fun night this Friday.
Take me through the win over Helena High, because you guys put up a lot of offense and really controlled that game from the get-go.
Yeah, and we did. And, the previous week against Helena Capital, we were down 14-0, and this week we went up 14-0. So, our kids came in with a lot of confidence, and, we played pretty fast that first quarter. And, we eventually had 2 turnovers in that first half as well. But, I thought we did a pretty good job on limiting Caden. He's such a phenomenal quarterback, and, Chase and, the Evans kid up, obviously. But, we played very well. At times we sputtered, and I was kind of surprised at the end of the game of how much offense that we did put up. but those 2 turnovers, kind of limit maybe some scoring opportunities. But we're never going to complain about a semifinal win, or we're pretty dang lucky to be in that spot. So it was a good team effort, and we just our kids did pretty well, and they're pretty focused that first quarter.
558 yards of offense. Michael DeLeon, you talked about him last week, coming off that 305-yard game, had 214 more yards this last week, and had another nice performance for the Golden Bears.
Yeah, a great performance, and that little guy, he's a special football player, and wherever he goes next year, somebody's going to be a really good football player. He just, he keeps on going, and he'd be the first one to tell you how it was the offensive line, and and he after the game, Saturday when we do our flush stuff, he kept watching more film. He didn't think he played as well. And I was like, Michael, you're not going to run for 300 yards every game, so 200 and wherever he hadn't changed was really good. But he just keeps his feet going, and he reads his blocks so well. He sets up his blocks so well, so patient. And, once again, I asked him after the game, are you sore? And, Saturday and Sunday, and he said he was good to go. So, we limited those touches early in the year and gave him a lot the last couple of games. But kind of, the nickname of the Energizer Bunny, he just goes and goes. He's the fast kid and explosive kid, and, really a tough kid too.
That's great. I mean, you have almost over 500 yards in 2 games. That's getting the job done. Not many college or pro guys can say that.
No. And Saturday morning he was in our office by himself watching film.
Wow.
Because he was, I should have done this. I'm like, you're good. You're good.
Definitely. Did Isaiah Clonch take the comparison to Caden Hewitt a little personal? I mean, he goes out and throws for a couple of touchdowns, 323 yards through the air. That's doing it as well.
Yeah, honestly, I think so. I think they respect each other, and they like each other. But 2 highly competitive kids, and one's going to Montana, and Isaiah's fielding some offers right now. So he wanted to show everybody that he's a really good quarterback, and he is. And so I think, they do have those personal matchups. And again, I told them it's not about each other, and it's not about playing against him, but, I think both of them want to showcase their talent, and, particularly when they're on the same field, not at the same time, but, same field, they're playing each other. But I think so. Yeah, he's doing a great job for us. And, even last night at practice, he was throwing the ball very well in our wind. That was pretty severe too. So, he's playing really well right now for us.
We're talking with Billings West football coach Rob Stanton. Your defense came to play, too. Helena High didn't get a first down until the end of the first quarter, but you held a really good offensive football team in check with just 250 yards or so.
Yeah, and we're a little bit disappointed the week before by giving up a lot of yards against Helena Capital, giving up some of those long passes, being down 14-0. And, going to that Capital game, we really hadn't given up many points at all, especially the last 4 or 5 games. And, our defensive coordinator didn't sleep much that night. Even though he won, he was, pretty disappointed in himself. He thought he should have done a better job preparing our kids. But, yeah, our defense played really well. And like I said, they're an explosive team. And, whenever you can get some 3-and-outs right away, a 4-and-out, really the first drive they had. And, I think that builds a lot of confidence where, especially that first series, they go for it and 4th down, and 2 plays later we're in the end zone, and you can kind of just feel the energy with our kids. But defensively, our kids do a very good job of flying around the football, and we give them specific assignments to do, and don't worry about anything else, and just do your, the Bill Belichick, do your job, and they did a pretty good job of that on Friday too.
Let's shift gears to another explosive offense and another explosive defense, and it's a team you're very familiar with. This will be the 3rd time in, about 365 days you guys have met with Missoula Sentinel. This time it's at their place. They haven't changed a whole lot the way they do things. They just keep winning, and we'll talk about that right now. But how good are they when you watch them on film? I mean,
really good.
They got the 20-game win streak and all that, but how good are they really?
Very good. You don't win 20 games in a row at any level without being a very good football team. And, the last 2 times we played them, we're 0-2. So they're a very good football team. And I think the best thing, maybe just watching film, and obviously their scheme and, their players, but you can just see even on the high school film of how confident they are. And you can see that they just fly around, and you can see they're not expecting to ever lose, and I think their confidence is so high, not in a bad way, that they're not even going to expect to give up a touchdown or give up a first down. So, just by watching them play for each other, and you can see it, just the confidence. And, it's difficult to win football games, and it's difficult to win football games at a high level, which they're doing. And it's really difficult and rare in AA to win 20 games in a row. So there's a lot of pressure with that too. I'm sure they're constantly asked about the streak and constantly asked about repeating. So they're doing a heck of a coach, and he's done a great job with them. But just the confidence that those kids have right now, you can see it on the film.
We're talking with West High football coach Rob Stanton. Cat-Griz is as good a quarterback as anybody in the state. He's proven that week in and week out. He's got some talented guys in the skill positions too, but what impresses me is their defense, and you saw it up close and personal on August 27th. What makes that defense so tough?
They did a good job with their schemes, and they, once in a while they show some looks that we haven't seen before. That happened last year at the state championship game. We threw a pick because of it. So, I think they, again, their middle linebacker, 52, he does a good job of getting the football. He's an all-state player from last year. But they have those really, really tall and long defensive ends that make it difficult, personally for us to get our screen game going on the outside receivers. And, they can get their hands up in the air to deflect passes. The first time we played them this year. But, again, you can talk about Zach, and I probably, I don't see him missing many defensive reps on Friday, but it's rare that a quarterback is also playing defensive end. Every coach in the world doesn't want that quarterback to get hurt, and I would assume that he doesn't even ask. He probably just goes in and says, "I'm playing defensive end," and they probably say, which I would too as well. So, he's just a tough kid, and so much respect for him. And even last year, he never wrestles before and gets third. So that's another thing I was just like, wow, not many kids can do that. But I think those two ends that they have that stand up, and they do a good job of mixing their coverages and showing zone at times, and also some man. But they have the athleticism to play man. So just a well balanced defense, and a former defensive coordinator is a former West High Bear too. So Coach Mott. So I'm happy for him and the spot he's in right now.
All right, so this worked last week. Compare Isaiah and Zach.
Different, both fairly talented. Isaiah's not going to beat too many teams by running down the sideline. And, I think Isaiah is really special with where, again, he can play football, and he has a pretty good rocket up and on for that left arm. And, his completion percentage is extremely high. But again, we'll run him sometimes, but he's probably not going to break an 80-yarder. So, I like him to get 4 or 5 yards and go. And, Zach is also a talented passer too. He's made some incredible throws this year, but I think he's going to run the zone reads a little more. And, I think most of the games where they need some yards and they have a previous opponents, and, he's carried the ball a lot of times. So, different games, different, in a sense where Zach, we have to make sure he doesn't run as much, but about the time you focus on that, he throws a dart, he throws a, but they're both very competitive kids, and, obviously kids that don't like to lose, and, Zach's probably one of the better wide receivers in the state too, but he's playing quarterback.
Talking with Rob Stanton, the West Side football coach on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. A couple final quick ones for you. Aside from the score, what will change from August 27th to November 19th?
A lot of kids are in better shape. That's one thing that has changed. We're hoping obviously for a little bit better production in some areas. I think our offensive line with this game, we had one tackle that really hadn't had many reps, the entire summer. So, what's going to help us change? We had a couple turnovers there in that game, and we can't do that the first time we played them. And I think we didn't have some. We had an opportunity to score. We had one called back. We had a holding call, and we obviously have to limit the penalties, especially in plays like that. So, we left points on the field, but they could probably, and they left points on the field too. So, I think getting these kids focused, I don't think that's going to be a problem. But just making sure that the kids have some fun and, play in front of a lot of people with that team and, so they can enjoy the moment and, get after each other once again. Okay, so one would argue that you have the biggest football game in the city of Missoula this weekend on Friday night. There's a little game on Saturday. Who you got? I got the West High players that play for both teams. That's who I'm going to go for on Saturday. So, my favorite college football team is Mississippi State. And after that, I get asked that in school, who are you going for? And I say, well, I'm going for Trev and Gradney for the Grizz, and I'm going for Neil Daly for the Cats. So I'm going to be as middle as there is possible, and I have no alliances to either one. My alliance is to team in North Dakota. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens with it. But that's, it's cool that we can find that. I really don't get to see those games very often because we're so busy, but it's going to be nice to be able to have that. Hopefully the state of Montana can figure out how we don't have Cat-Griz and, other state championships on the same day. That would be nice if everybody could watch those games too. But, but hey, that's a good political answer, right? I'm going to both. When you run for office, you've got the politics down. By the way, Dickinson at Grandview. That's not an easy game for the Blue Hawks. Oh man. No. And it's not an easy game, and a lot of good teams in Iowa, aren't there? It was like 3 or 4 of them in the playoffs. And, 3 of them. So, but they're happy to be playing just like we are. So there you go. So you can't get to Grandview, Iowa from Missoula real easy on Saturday. So nope. And you got Montana Western in the playoffs. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff. Yeah, it's great. I mean, football in Montana is pretty dang good. Yeah. So at all levels, and we pumped out some pretty good football players and had some really good coaches in the state. Yeah, no, there's no question about it. You are definitely one of them. I'd like to be at the Cat-Griz game. I'd like to be at your game, but I got to go to Dutton to do the Power Dutton Brady Freud Lake football game for NFHS. So that's where I'll be on Saturday. Oh, that's good. Yeah, little 6-man. And people need to see, those small teams play too. It's being from Baker and having small town football. It's small town football, but it's a big town. It's a big time thing for those schools and those towns. So it's really, really important. And they drive the community so much. So those small town games are pretty dang fun. I can't wait. I've actually never been to a 6-man game that I can recall. So I just know a smaller field. Everybody's eligible, right? Yeah, less kids. Yeah, it's like playing in the backyard. You hike it once and anybody can go out and catch it, right? That's cool. I'm looking forward to that one. I'm looking forward to Friday night, too. And I told Coach Oliver this, too. You and Coach Oliver were the first 2 AA coaches to give me a helmet. Guess what? You're meeting in the state final. So this is a wake-up call to the rest of the coaches next year if you want to play in the state title game. And if you ask again, I'll drive up and I'll drive and give you one if that's what's going to happen. So I'll come get one anytime, and I do need a Billings Central one too, and maybe a Dickinson. Okay. So see what you can do. Okay, I'll work on that. Yep. Okay. All right. Since you have that family connection and all. Yeah, there you go. I'll just go take them. There you go. I like it. Hey, Coach, good luck. Appreciate everything this year, and looking forward to watching a good game on Friday night. Us too. Thank you for everything, and it should be a fun night Friday. That is Rob Stanton joining us on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. This segment brought to you by Montana Custom Log Homes. Montana Custom Log Homes of Victor. 50 years of a combined log home experience behind them to make your dream log home a reality. They're committed to building you the finest log and timber frame structures in the world, crafting homes that last for generations. 3 distinct types of log home construction. It caters to your preference, your budget, most importantly, and consumer choice and details and craftsmanship, striving in every way to ensure your dream log home is attainable. Get a hold of Montana Custom Log Home, plural, MontanaCustomLogHomes.com, Montana all spelled out. So that championship game coming up Friday night, it's going to be a fun one. There is no doubt about that, man. It's going to be, I can't wait. West Sentinel, 2nd straight year, and state championship on the line. Man, going to be fun. All right, let's do On This Day in History. It is brought to you by Mountain Nutrition at 3222 Centennial Drive. Teas and shakes with 21 vitamins and minerals. Metabolism booster in your teas. Great specials every day. Check out Mountain Nutrition, 3222 Centennial Drive in Helena.
Today is November the 17th. It is National Take a Hike Day. It is Homemade Bread Day. Also Education Support Professionals Day. Baklava Day. I've never had baklava. It is also National Butter Day. 1884, cops would arrest boxer John L. Sullivan in his second round for being cruel. Seriously. 1940, the Green Bay Packers, the first NFL team to travel by plane. 1956, Jim Brown of Syracuse scores an NCAA record of 43 points in a game. 1968, the Heidi game. NBC cuts away from Heidi, or cuts to Heidi, and misses the Raiders beat the Jets 43-32. Speaking of the Jets, on this date, 1985, the Jets' best offensive production, they beat Tampa Bay 62-28. I'm not sure if the Jets have scored 62 points since 1985. 1997, Mario Lemieux entering the NHL Hall of Fame. Happy birthday. A couple of guys born on this date, 1944. Jimmy Boeheim, the Basketball Hall of Fame coach from Syracuse, and Tom Seaver, the Hall of Famer from the New York Mets, Cincinnati Reds, born on this date, 1944. He passed away a year ago. Bo Schembechler died on this date, 2006, the old Michigan coach. And one other birthday, Gordon Lightfoot, born on this date, 1938. Sundown, the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. He is still touring. Can you believe that? He's like not as young as he used to be, but he's still out there touring. Let's see here. What did I want to get to? Let's see if this works. 3 years ago today. Hold on. Can we do this? I got to see if I can do this the right way. Hold on. Let's go desktop. Okay, and then we go boom. Hold on, pause. Full screen. There we go. Now let's play this. This happened 3 years ago today in Missoula.
Eastwood did not make it. Ball out. Recovered by Montana State. The Bobcats hold. The Bobcats hold.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the video worked, but the Bobcats held the fumble, and the Bobcats got the win. Let's see. There it is.
Eastwood did not make it. Ball out.
Nope, hold on. I don't know what's going on. It won't work. Pitcher in picture, maybe? Can we try that? Refresh? Back? Yeah. There we go. I think it's working. I don't know. The Bobcats won, though. The fumble. Chase Benson in there, the Helena High product. I saw this video today, too. I wanted to show you.
Oh, I saw a nice ball.
This girl kicking a soccer ball, for those listening. She's got like a penalty kick, corner kick, or penalty kick, and she hits one girl in the head out of 5 and then hits a second one in the head. Oh, that's fantastic. That's why you don't play soccer, kids. All right, where are we at? Let's do that. Okay. Can we do this? Boom.
We're almost at the end of the show. What did we learn? And what did he miss? Time for the walk-off.
Hey, we had a great show today. Some technical issues, but nonetheless a fun one. Thanks for Dane Oliver for joining us, the head coach of Sentinel. Rob Stanton, the West High coach. You can listen on JasonWalkerShow.com if you missed anything. Also, Alex Eschelman, that's what she said, brought to you by Dinner's Done Right. The walk-off, by the way, brought to you by Cafe Zydeco, where the Big Easy meets the Big Sky. Gumbo sounding really good right now. Jambalaya. Catfish. Tomorrow, we're talking with Jim Ben, the Big Fork football coach. Also, Odessa Zentz, Kylie Hartnett, Carly Ryan will join us all at the same time. 3 Helena High tracksters and cross-country runners and just great student athletes. That'll be coming up tomorrow. It is Cat-Griz week. Man, can't believe it. It's finally here. It's already here. Okay, we'll do this tomorrow. Jason Walker Show. Represented by Capital Collision Center, see at 4.
The Jason Walker Show is produced by the Jason Walker Media Company. Any reuse, rebroadcast, or retransmission without the express written consent of the Jason Walker Show is strictly prohibited. Just listen, watch, and enjoy.